cost them. Republicans have voted 14 times to fund the government, and it's time for Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck. Remember he started crying at the airplanes? They were the worst forced tears. I've known him all his life. He's never cried, but he broke down in tears. He was so devastated. He didn't know why he was crying, but he just thought it was good to do. His people told him this was a good time to cry, crying Chuck. But it's time for Chuck Schumer and the radical Democrat Congress to stop playing games with the people's lives and to pass a clean funding bill that they've done 30 times before. And to reopen government immediately, just reopen it. They don't like it to be reopened because we're setting records. They think actually, I don't think anything's going to hurt. We are so strong now that I'm not sure that anything's going to hurt. But it would be good to open it up, take care of the people with jobs that aren't going to get paid and aren't getting paid. And no matter what, we will not let them impose their inflation-causing extremism on the American people. We're not going to pay $1.5 billion for people that came into our country illegally, okay? If you don't mind. That's what they did last time. Remember the Inflation Reduction Act? The greatest scam, one of the greatest scams. I would say some of their environmental scams were even bigger, but one of the greatest scams ever, Inflation Reduction Act. And then they admitted it had nothing to do with inflation reduction, remember? But it did actually caused massive inflation. It actually caused massive inflation. But we don't use auto pens in the Trump administration to sign things. We don't believe in that. You know, I get these guys come in with these big, beautiful documents, gorgeous, beautiful, must cost a fortune. I should check the price. But, you know, a general is being made or something, you know, some big post. And they say, sir, would you sign this, please? It's going to be a 4-star general, or it's going to be a big cabinet position, or it's going to be something with medical or whatever. I take my pen and I sign it. In his case, they walk it into a room and they give it to somebody who's no idea who Biden is. But Biden doesn't have any idea who he is either. And they have a machine sign it, the auto pen. And all of the pardons, he gave thousands of pardons to people. He had no idea about it. He didn't know about it. And therefore, all those pardons are void. You know, you have to have, it's a very complicated thing if you're going to use a machine. You have to do it properly. And he didn't have any idea what was happening. And this is what we had as a president. We don't want that. You have the opposite right now. I don't want to be braggadocious, but you have the exact, I know exactly what's happened. If you want to see what congressional Democrats wish to do to America, just look at the result of yesterday's election in New York, where their party installed a communist as the mayor of the largest city in the nation. Remember, I've said we will never have a socialist elected to any post in our country. I used to say that, and I was right. We skipped socialist and we put in a communist instead. That didn't work out too well. But as I've warned for many years, our opponents are hell-bent on turning America into a communist Cuba or socialist Venezuela, and you see what happened to those places. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. You know, I'm not going to, we have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the Gs anymore because what's happened there is bad. I'm not going. I told them I'm not going. I'm not going to represent our country there. It shouldn't be there. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of South America. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of the world. But now the Democrats are so extreme that Miami will soon be the refuge for those fleeing communism in New York City. They flee. They flee. Where do you live? New York City, but I'm trying to leave because I don't want to live in a communist regime. I hope it works out for New York. I love New York. I love New York. When I left New York for the White House, it was good, except we had, you know, the telltale signs of trouble because we had a guy named de Blasio. Do you ever hear of him as mayor? He goes down as probably the worst mayor in history. Then he went to Harvard to teach government. Do you believe it? They took de Blasio, and they took that mayor from Chicago, the woman, the one that gets her hair done very expensively, right? Beautiful hair. She got beautiful, luxuriant hair. And they took her, and she's teaching at Harvard. They're teaching government. And then you hear about Harvard. We're trying to work a settlement with Harvard right now for about like a lot of money. I won't tell you what, but you'll be reading about it pretty soon. Because what they've done to Jewish people and what they've done to others is pretty bad, I'll tell you. It's pretty bad. Going to cost them a lot of money. After last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense. Does that make sense to you? Common sense. It's common sense or communism. And you know, you take a look back 1,000 years, it hasn't worked. If it worked, we'd be using it, I guess, but it hasn't worked. Our opponents are offering an economic nightmare. We're delivering an economic miracle. We have delivered in 9 months. This is the biggest investment of funds in a country in history by many times. That's good. They want higher spending for government and illegal aliens. We want bigger paychecks for American workers and American families, and that's what we're delivering. You see that. They stand for crime and chaos and corruption. We stand for law and order and justice. Also, strong borders. Boy, do we have strong borders. They put America last. We put America first. We put America first. And as long as I'm in the White House, the United States is not going communist in any way, shape, or form. We'll stop it. We're going to stop it. Stop this nonsense. You know, I said they were voting last night. You could have a communist or a thug. A communist, and they took the communist, you know. It's pretty amazing. We could have done a little better in terms of candidates. From day one of my administration, I've been fighting every single day to turn around the catastrophe we inherited to make America the best place on the planet Earth to do business. And that's what it is. Right now, we're the #1 place. I'm getting plants approved in 2 weeks. It used to take 20 years before they got rejected. You'd have young people start off. Their whole business was getting a certain plant accepted. 22 years later, they're ready to retire, and they haven't gotten it. And then they go to a vote, and they get rejected after 22. They wasted a whole life looking for an acceptance. We do it in 2 weeks. We make sure it's good. We make sure it's great and proper, environmentally sound. It takes 2 weeks. My goal is to have the best tax rates, the lowest energy cost, the lowest regulatory burden, the most advanced technology, and the fairest trade deals anywhere in the world. You know, we're leading China. We're leading everybody by a lot in AI. And this was my idea, so I'm very proud of it. I said, build your own electric. People would come. We need more electric grid, sir. The electric grid's 200 years old. We need more electric grid. It's old. The electricity that the AI plants need alone is double the entire electricity that we have in the country right now. Can you believe it? So I had this idea. I said, we can't fix the old grid that much. We'll fix it up. We'll keep it going. A little Band-Aid here, a little Band-Aid there. It's old. And I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let these geniuses build their own electric generation. So they are building their own electric utility plants. They become a utility, if you think about it. They're building the utility and the electric right alongside. This is where they have their transformers and everything. They're building the most expensive electric plants you've ever seen, generating plants. Some by nuclear, some by oil and gas, some by coal as a substitute. They're building them right next to their plant, and they're incredible. People say they've never seen anything like it because these minds are genius. To them, an electric plant is not complicated. To them, an electric plant is better than the people that produce electricity, although Florida Power and Light is doing a lot of plants for people. They're pretty advanced, I have to tell you. But they're building their own juice next to the plant. Isn't that sort of a cool idea? And you know, when I first proposed that, they came into my office with, you know, they have unlimited money, but they were trying to figure out how they can build it because they had no electric of any consequence. And I said, you're going to build your own plant. I'm going to get you your approvals in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month if I'm slow. We have a great man, Zelle, in charge of the environment. He's incredible. And he's tough, too. He's very tough. But they have their approval in 2-3 weeks. You know, they're dealing with the best experts in the world. They know what they're doing. It's amazing when you see some of this stuff come in, designed by guys with 190 IQs, and then you have an inspector who's not quite as smart as that, inspecting it to see whether or not it's okay. And he has no idea what he's looking at. No idea. But I said, you're designing your own electric plant. And they didn't believe it. They come in 2 weeks later, they say, the biggest problem is electric. I said, you can design your own plant. And we're going to have your approvals within 2 to 4 weeks. And they said, he's really serious about it. They thought I was kidding. It was so good, they couldn't believe it. They'd leave and they couldn't believe it. It took me 2 or 3 times to say it. Yeah, they're designing their own electric plants, and it's unbelievable. And then they're going to sell their excess electricity back into the grid. So we benefit in that way, too. In July, I proudly signed into law the largest tax cuts in American history. Now, that's the second time. I did it the first time, but these are even larger, the great, big, beautiful bill. And that includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax on Social Security. I wonder which is the most popular of the no tax on tips. You know, I was in Nevada, in my building in Las Vegas, and I had this beautiful young waitress come up to me. I never talk about beauty anymore because politically, if you mention somebody's beautiful, that's the end of your political career. So I don't mention that she was beautiful, but she was beautiful. And she came up and I said, how you doing? Oh, sir, I'm not doing well. The government is horrible on tips. I said, really? How do they tax? They tax tips? They tax us and they go after us. I've never seen anything like it. It's made my life miserable. Sir, there should be no tax on tips. She said to me, no tax on tips. I said, say it again. She said, sir, there should be no tax on tips. So we had a lot of the fake news waiting for me outside of the restaurant. So I went out and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. There will be no tax on tips. That's how it all started. And I won Nevada. I won Nevada. Because, you know, in Nevada, every job is basically, you know, you're a waitress or you're working in a hotel. No, that's how it started. So it was amazing. We won Nevada easily, which is usually not a stronghold for Republicans, but it's become a stronghold. So I want to thank the waitress. She did a great job. But when she said those words, sir, there should be no tax on tips, it's amazing. Somebody else would hire a consultant, pay them millions and millions of dollars. They'll come back. And they'll say, sir, I think you should absolutely tax tips. And you'll lose the election. But we also have 100% expensing for all new factories, plants, and equipment, so your businesses can write it off all in 1 year, and that's a lot of jobs you're doing and producing. That was, to me, the biggest thing in the first bill. But this is even better because this goes for a 10-year period. Upon taking office, I signed an executive order requiring that every new regulation, every time we issue a new regulation, think of this, 10 old regulations must be eliminated simultaneously. So if we give you one, you get rid of 10. And so far, for 9 months, we're exceeding that. And it's 30 to 1. For every new one we give, they're getting rid of 30 old, broken down regulations. And we've slashed nearly $1 trillion worth of regulatory burdens. We have regulations that are so old and nobody uses them, but they stymied a lot of production, a lot of jobs. And I did it the first time, and we had the largest regulation cuts in history, and now we're exceeding it this time. So it's big. It's one of the reasons we did so well then, and I think it's one of the reasons we're doing so well now. Again, we have to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, nobody else, the fake news is not going to talk about it. And we have streamlined permitting for the new energy and mining projects. What used to take decades now takes 28 days. And on day one, I signed an executive order to unleash American energy and officially terminate the Green New Scam. Has anyone ever heard of the Green New Scam? Remember the old thing, global warming, and then it would be too cool? And then they said global cool. They didn't know what the hell to say. So they came up with the greatest, climate change. No matter what, if it goes up, if it goes down, climate change. They're very, very smart people, but not smart for us. They're smart for them. But my policy was very simple. Drill, baby, drill. We're drilling like crazy right now. And to curb inflation, we've slashed the size of government for the first time in years, and we're waging total war on waste, fraud, and abuse like we've never done before. Since January, 100,000 bureaucrats have left the federal payroll. Government spending is down 2.5% this quarter compared to 1 year ago. Think of that. And in stark contrast to last administration, 100% of all new jobs created in America under my administration have been created in the private sector. 100% of the jobs have come from the private sector. Otherwise, you don't have a country. I mean, I love government workers, but if you have all government workers, you don't have a country, do you? At the same time, my tariffs are bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars and are helping slash the deficit this year by more than 50%. Did you see the numbers? We're going to be down 50%, anywhere from 25 to 50, but closer to 50%. Who would think that one? Those are big numbers. Now, take that out 2 or 3 years to embrace a vital industry here in Miami. I've also signed historic executive orders to end the federal government's war on crypto. Crypto is under siege. It's not under siege anymore because it's a big industry. It's a big industry, and I have a lot of people that are great people, great business people. They're in other businesses, but they're in crypto too. And it takes a lot of the pressure off the dollar. It does a lot of good things, but we're into it. Biden was vicious on crypto. They were going after these crypto guys. It was terrible. They were under indictment, but I got indicted too. I made a phone call. Congratulations on your victory. He made a phone call. Let's indict him. These people are the worst. Then they say, he's gone after Comey. They indicted me. They impeached me. They did everything. It's unbelievable. Who the hell else could have taken that? Do you guys know anybody else that could have taken it? I don't think so. A lot of people say, you're the only one could have taken that. I don't know if that's true, but there aren't too many. We're making the United States the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world, and the undisputed leader in artificial intelligence. We're leading China by a lot. And don't forget, if we don't do the crypto properly, China wants to do it. They're starting it, but they want to do it. Other countries want to do it. If we don't do it, it's a big industry. We're honored to be joined today by a man who has been a true champion for many of these bold policies. He really has. He's been a great guy. He was a little late in his endorsement of me, I'll be honest with you. He endorsed me. You know, these guys that endorsed me after I won, I don't know. Sir, I'd like to endorse you. No, I won the election. Nah, he's a good man, actually. I've known him a long time. He's helped turn the area into one of the hottest markets in the country and one of the greatest cities in the world. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez. Please, Francis, come up, please.
You're never gonna let me forget that one, huh? Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Mr. President. Just a little shorter than you were. Oh, it's truly a great honor to be here with you this afternoon and to have you here once again in the great city of Miami. Your leadership and your vision have shaped not only our nation, but also the future of our city. Miami's success today is rooted in the values that are deeply American: opportunity, freedom, safety, and innovation. These are values that you have championed with conviction, and they are the same values that have made Miami a symbol of what's possible. When people believe in the promise of America, Mr. President, I want to personally thank you for your continued support of our vision for this city. It was an honor to stand beside you in the Oval Office when you announced the next year's G20 right here in the city of Miami. Thank you for choosing our city to host what is perhaps the most important and consequential gathering of leaders from around the world. Miami has come a long way and we will rise to the occasion, Mr. President. On behalf of the people of Miami, it is my privilege and honor here on behalf of my wife, the America Business Forum, Nacho, Sergio, and everyone to give you like real estate, right?
I do.
Yeah. This is a key that opens some really nice presidential library real estate.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Francis. I appreciate it. And you know, he's really a special guy. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in the White House, and then I'm going to move it to Doral in about 3.5 years. We put it right in Doral, right? In the lobby of Doral. A lot of people from Doral. Well, thank you. That's a great honor. I also want to thank a man who's been unbelievable in terms of Israel and so many other things. He was a great real estate developer, but he had a great personality. And you need a personality for this. And I said, he's just as good as there is, and he's done so well. And you look at what's happened with Israel. We have peace in the Middle East. Can you believe it? Peace in the Middle East. And he's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. Steve, where are you, Steve? Wherever you may be. Where are you? Steve, thank you. What a job you've done. Thank you very much. What a job he's done. That guy's got that personality. Now, I wanted a deal maker, but, you know, a lot of deal makers don't have good personalities. You end up in a war. They make the deal, but you end up in a war. This guy, everybody loved him for years. I've known it. And he was the right guy for the job. Peace in the Middle East. 3,000 years. They've never had peace in the Middle East. We're going to have it, too. We're doing well. Just keeps going along, and we just had a meeting. It's even more and more so, and so many people in this room are very much into Israel and the Middle East, and it's been amazing what we've been able to do, and you've done such a big part of it, along with a very special young genius named Jared Kushner, who helped you so much. Stand up, Jared. And he's the father of the Abraham Accords, right? He's the father of the Abraham Accords. And by the way, my granddaughter, Arabella, would you stand up, Arabella? She looks so great. I said, how are your marks in school, Arabella? Grandpa, I have all A's and A pluses, you know that. Like it was a stupid question I asked her, right? We're proud of you, Arabella. Jared, thank you. What a great job. And we have a lot of people joining now the Abraham Accords. And hopefully we're going to get Saudi Arabia very soon, but I'm not saying that. I'm not lobbying. No, but we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people that are coming aboard. You know, the key was when we took out the nuclear capability of Iran, all of a sudden everybody said, wow, that was nice. They've been wanting to do that for 20 years. Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the United States, Princess Rima, thank you very much. Please stand up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Say hello to everybody. Okay? Say hello to a great group of people in Saudi Arabia. Thank you. Stephen Miner, Mayor of Miami Beach. Stephen Miner. Where is Stephen? Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Good job you're doing. Excellent. Thank you, Stephen. The Mayor of Coral Gables, Vince Lego. Vince Lego, thank you. Thank you. Great job, Vince. The Mayor of Doral, I love Doral, and I like this woman a lot, Christy Fraga. Christy. Where's Christy? Thank you, Christy. I like Doral. We also have Commissioners Damian Pardo, Laura Dominguez, Ralph Rosado, Miami-Dade Supervisor of Elections, Alina Garcia, the President of FIFA, Gianni Infantino. FIFA, where's Johnny? Whoa, Johnny, my boy. I didn't know he was going to be here. He's big stuff. And the world, look, you know, Johnny and I worked the deal originally, and it looked like I wasn't going to be president because it was in this term, right? So when they rigged the election, I said, oh, man, I have to run again because I want to be president when they have the World Cup, right? And look what happens, Johnny. I'm president when we have the World Cup. It wasn't supposed to be that way. But I can only tell you that the tickets are selling at numbers and record like they've never sold ever before. I heard you just told me that they're doing record business, right? The way you had the World Cup coming, think of it, we have the World Cup coming, we have 250 coming, and we have the Olympics. 250 is 250 years of age. And we have UFC at the White House, by the way, on June 14th. That's going to be at the White House. That's going to be a tough ticket. That's UFC, but we have, think of it, Johnny is there with FIFA, and we have the Olympics. We have it all coming. It's all this thing. I'm glad I'm sort of happy the way things worked out, you know? It's turned out to be as good as it could be. I think we've made more progress than we ever could have made in the second term. I think this is really more progress being made. We also have Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali, and where's Stefano? Very good. That's big stuff. We have a lot of big people here today. We also have a gentleman who called my election successfully. He said, and Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. Got a great voice. Brett Baer. Where's Brett Baer? Brett Baer. Where is he? And his son is with him, Paul. Paul's a very good golfer, so is Brett. Thank you, Brett. He's doing an interview with me right after the... Oh, is that Paul? Stand up, Paul. Paul, did we take your father easily in golf? Tell me, huh? That was easy, right? Get ready. We'll do it again. Thank you very much, Paul. You look great. Also, I want to thank your two great senators, Ashley Moody and Rick Scott. And, you know, I just left them. Believe it or not, I had a meeting with all the senators this morning. I gave them my vision because, frankly, it's always nice to have good vision. And they are two terrific senators, and they're in Washington working hard, and they were going to come. And I said, do me a favor, stay back and work on the things you're working on. They're working on really things. And Ashley is in the election. Rick just won his election. They're two great senators that you have right here in Florida. So that's really good. And they're working to make America great again. So I said, stay back in Washington. Together with many of the people here today, we've achieved more in 9 months than most administrations achieve in 8 years. It's true. We've really done a lot. We inherited the worst border in history, and within a matter of weeks, we turned it into the strongest border anywhere in the world, and they have some pretty strong borders, but we have literally no people coming through. They do come in. They come in legally. You know, we want people to come in. We want to make it real easy for them, actually, but they come in legally. So you have to know that. We just don't want criminals coming in. We don't want people from prisons. We don't want prisons dumped into our country like Venezuela did. They emptied their prisons into our country. We don't want that, right? For months in a row, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted into the United States. 0. They actually announced it. This is an official 0. Remember when Biden said, I have no control over the border? Millions of people pouring through, not people that you could look at them, not that we discriminate. You could look at them and say, these are not going to be perfect for our country. They were rough people that they let in. They had 11,888 murderers, 50% of which murdered more than one people. We don't want them. We're getting a lot of them out. Hopefully we're going to soon have all of them the hell out of here. Either out of here or we have to put them in jail because they're so dangerous. Some are so dangerous we don't want to bring them out. We'll just make sure they never come back in. But this is what they were putting in our country, and it's a disgrace. On day one, I signed an executive order to designate the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We had a big, strong, positive number come out just recently. The drugs coming into our country are way down. I'll tell you where they're really way down is drugs coming in through water. People are saying, no thanks. I don't think I want to ride in that boat today, please. We want you to take these drugs into the United States. You know what? I think I'll take a pass, sir. The drugs coming in by border are not much. Every boat that we hit kills, think of this, if it gets through, kills 25,000 Americans plus. But 25,000 Americans. Every time we hit a boat, we save 25,000 lives. Got to look at it that way. And we're arresting and removing thousands and thousands of dangerous gang members, MS-13, Tren de Aragua. All these gang members are being thrown the hell out of our country. And if you look at Washington, D.C., it's now a safe community. We're in Memphis now, and within 2 weeks, all of a sudden, it's like a safe community. It's really made unbelievable progress. And we're blowing up cartel terrorists. We're blowing them up linked to the Maduro regime in Venezuela and others. Look, it's not just Venezuela. But a lot of things are coming in. Look, Venezuela emptied their prisons into our country. Nobody wants that. They emptied their prisons into our country. We're liberating our cities from the scourge of violent crime, making our country safe and beautiful again. We're starting in our capital, Washington, D.C., which right now you can walk through the middle of Washington. You have no problem. 6 months ago, that wasn't the case. 1 year ago, it was a disaster. But law enforcement, our military has done an incredible job, actually. It's a safe, very, very safe city again. And it's been beautified. We're putting new medians in. We're covering the roads with nice, clean, beautiful asphalt. We're redoing the grass in the parks. It's really becoming beautiful again, and it's safe. We don't get calls that, think of it, call to the parents, your son, sir, has been killed. He came to see the Lincoln Memorial and he's dead. No, that's not happening anymore. We run it tough. We run it very tough. Sometimes you have to be a little tough to get rid of. These are thugs. These are bad people. We're bringing them the hell out of our country where they came from. We renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And well, if you think about it, after the Second World War, they changed it to defense, right? So we won the First World War. We won the Second World War. We won everything in between and everything before. Never lost a war. We still don't lose wars. Sometimes we don't fight to win. You know, we'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, you know, the wars that never end. But we made it clear that the days of political correctness in our military, they're over. We don't want to get into wars. I rebuilt the military. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We make the best equipment, the best missiles, the best rockets, the best everything. We redid our nuclear. We're the #1 nuclear power, which I hate to admit because it's so horrible. It's such a horrible situation if it ever has to be used. Russia's second. China's a distant third, but they'll catch us within 4 or 5 years. They want to catch us, and they'll be able to catch us. And we're maybe working on a plan to denuclearize the three of us. So we'll see if that works. But we have the strongest military anywhere in the world by far. We're investing $1 trillion in the United States Armed Forces this year. It's the biggest amount we've ever invested, and the spirit of service members is soaring like never before. We used to have recruiting shortages a year ago. You remember, you couldn't get people to join our military all around the world. You couldn't get them to rejoin. You just couldn't, no matter what you do. That we were way short. Now you can't get into our military. The waiting list, you have waiting lists to get into our military because we have spirit in our country. And all around the world, America is making peace, and we're really making peace through strength because they know they're not going to mess around with us. Nobody's going to mess around with us. You saw what happened. We made a deal with China last week, and we made a deal with Japan last week. We made a deal with Malaysia. They helped us so much. All great economic deals, all great. Great for everybody. In 8 months, I ended 8 wars, including Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda. That was going on for a long time. Pakistan and India. You know, I was in the midst of a trade deal with both of them. And then I read on the front page of a certain newspaper, I said, I don't want to mention the newspaper because it's usually fake news, but I heard they're going to war. 7 planes were shot down. An 8th was really badly wounded, but 8 planes were shot down essentially. And I said, this is war. And they were going at it. And they're 2 nuclear nations. I said, I'm not going to make any trade deals with you guys unless you agree to peace. No way, this has nothing to do. I said, it has everything to do. Your nuclear powers. I'm not trading with you. We're not making any deals with you if you're at war with each other, a day later I get a call, we've made peace. They stopped. I said, thank you, let's trade. Isn't that great? Tariffs did that. You know what? Tariffs, without tariffs, that would have never happened. Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, and Cambodia and Thailand. All of them were in war, starting war. Some of the wars were 32 years old. One was 38 years old. Amazing. They tried to, President Putin, I spoke to him 2 weeks ago, and he said, on the one, he said, we've been trying to settle that war for 10 years. We weren't able to do it. You got to settle. I got some of these things settled in an hour. No help from the United Nations at all. The only thing I got from them was a blank teleprompter. Remember I went up there, Princess? Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump, I'm looking at the teleprompters, and I have all my friends, including your family, sitting out there, 158 leaders, some in beautiful silk white robes, others in bad shirts, bad ties, and some in beautiful shirts and ties. But they're all the leaders, 158 leaders. And they're saying, President, and I'm walking up to the President Donald J. Trump, and I'm looking at the teleprompter, stone cold blank. They did it on purpose. And I think I gave my best speech. That's what I was told. But it still wasn't a great feeling. I'm walking up very slowly. You know, I'm 20 feet. I'm trying to walk slowly because I see it's not working. They're dead. They did it on purpose. But it worked out okay. Not great people. Most important of all, for 4 weeks ago, and this is very important, we brokered the historic peace deal that ended the war in Gaza. And it's a serious end, too. You know, I read a lot of people, oh, it's very tenuous. Jared and Steve, I don't think it's tenuous to you. I hope it isn't, because otherwise I'll have to cross it off. I'll have to say I only ended 7. But that was a tough one, right? That was a tough one. But there's nothing tenuous about it. It's a serious end. Gaza has been a disaster for so many years, and I think it's an end. I think you're going to see some tremendous things happening. We just had a meeting just before I got up, and some great things are happening. And with Israel and peace in the Middle East, it's amazing, actually, what they've done. And what you two guys have done have been incredible. True. On day 1 of my administration, I signed an executive order to slash federal funding for any school that pushes critical race theory or transgender insanity on our youth. And we completely banned the chemical and surgical mutilation of our children. Think of that. Can you imagine somebody 15 years ago saying we stopped the surgical mutilation of our children? We stopped the chemical mutilation of our children. Can you imagine that? They would have said, this guy's crazy. And now you're saying, thank you very much, because you know it's true. How about this one? We got men out of women's sports. It's over. It's over. Men out of women's sports. They had a race the other day, long distance, a super, I don't know what the hell, a race, one of these all-day races. They had the top women, the top men. The man won by 5 hours and 18 seconds, okay? What the hell? How about the weightlifting? 218 pounds by a woman. That's a lot to lift over your head, Rima. I don't know if you might be able to do it. 218 pounds or whatever was the record. A man beat the record by 100 pounds. It stood for like 17 years or something. A man beat the record by 100 pounds. He was a failed male weightlifter, but as a female, he did very well. That's a record that won't. This is a thing that stood. They'd put a quarter of an ounce and a quarter of an ounce on each end. 18 years the record stood. Then a guy comes along, ping, ping. This is the crazy. These people are crazy. And Mandami, whatever the hell his name is in New York. No. He thinks it's wonderful to have men playing in women's sports. The swimming's good too, you know? You know the story? Records are being beaten by numbers that nobody's ever seen, nobody ever thought possible. But a lot of those records are being changed back to where they should be. And I made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. And we're restoring the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, the beautiful Alaska mountain I renamed. Think of that. They took the name of McKinley. He was a great president. He was assassinated. He was a great president for tariffs. He was the tariff king, and he made our country very rich. And then Teddy Roosevelt spent the money on the Panama Canal and many other things. And everyone thinks Teddy was a great president. He was. But the one who built all that money was McKinley. So we renamed the mountain back to Mount McKinley. Is that okay? I think so. You know, I'll tell you what, who's happy about that is the great state of Ohio. He was governor of Ohio and became president, did a great job, made the country very rich. He was killed. Mount McKinley was named, and then the name was taken off, and we put it back on. And I renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That was an easy one. That was an easy one, Johnny. That was easy. You know, look, we have 92% of the shore. I used to say when I was a child, I'd say, how come it's called the Gulf of Mexico? It's mostly America. You know, all the way, it wraps around Florida, all the way up. It's 92% of the shoreline. I said, I think to me it's the Gulf of America. Little did I know I'd have the chance to do it. I did it very quickly. For years, our country was run by radical scoundrels and far-left bureaucrats who created one catastrophe after another, wrecking our economy, erasing our borders, and surrendering America's power and standing all over the world. But after just 1 year since that glorious election, I'm thrilled to say that America is back. America is back. Bigger, better, stronger than ever. And in conclusion, jobs are returning, businesses are booming, and America is respected again, perhaps like never before. Our country is respected again like never. They were laughing at our country. We had a guy who couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. Kept falling. It's very embarrassing. You know, at Air Force One, I go, sir, would you like the short stairs or the long? I say, give me the long every single time, please. The short ones, they call them the children's stairs. I don't want the children's stairs. Doesn't look so good coming out of the children's stairs. Now, if the weather's bad, it's okay, right? If you don't mind. But the communists, Marxists, socialists, and globalists had their chance, and they delivered nothing but disaster. And now let's see how a communist does in New York. We're going to see how that works out. And we'll help them. We'll help them. We want New York to be successful. We'll help them a little bit, maybe. For all of these failed and discredited, really discredited, if you think, ideologies of the past, their day is over, their grip is broken, and their time is absolutely done. The golden age of America has begun, and we are just getting started. It's a golden age like you've never seen before. From the steel mills of Pittsburgh to the oil wells of Houston, from the car plants of Detroit, and those car plants are pouring into our country, to the coal mines of West Virginia, those coal mines are opening up one after another. Clean, beautiful coal. You're not allowed to use the word coal unless you say, in my administration, unless you use two words before it. Clean and beautiful. Biden would say, unless you use two words before it, here you go, clean. He said, what happened to the other word? Remember those things? He'd say three words and mean two. But the West Virginia mines are doing unbelievable now. Wyoming is doing unbelievable. It's clean, beautiful coal. And from the bright lights of Las Vegas to right here in beautiful Miami, America is proud. America is confident. America is growing and successful. America is a great nation again. We're a great nation again. It's happened faster than I thought. I'll be honest again. We're respected by everybody. We are really, you see the way I get treated. I get treated that way. I guess a little has to do with me, but a lot has to do with the fact that I'm representing this country. America is respected again. America is a great nation again. The American dream is surging back to life, and we will never let the American dream die. Together we will make our country stronger, richer, safer, freer, and greater than ever before. And every day my administration will fight, 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 and America will win, win, win. I want to thank you, Miami. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank everybody for being here. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
All right, there is the link list where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of you guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience a live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums, the arcade, the Hooligan AI, and our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. Like I said, I got to get the schedule together for Coffee with Hooligans, so we'll be live in a couple hours. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Appreciate all of you guys being here, and I'll see you soon.